Hi, pal. This is Tony Lockwood. I am here in Cleveland, Ohio, on a beautiful day. I'm across the street from the home of the Cleveland Browns, and the stadium looks awful good, and you know what? It's empty. And over there is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We are at the CAASE 18 conference, and it's co-hosted by Digital Engineering, which I represent, and by NAFENS, which you should be a part of. Now, NAFENS is the International Association for the Engineering, Modeling, Analysis, and Simulation Community. They do great stuff. Go learn more about them. I have a very interesting discussion coming up for you, and I would like you, please, Alex, to introduce yourself, your company, and you're a very well respected application.
Thank you very much. My name is Alexandre Mugnai, and I'm a business developer manager at ESTECO. And ESTECO is actually an Italian-based company which has its headquarters in Trieste, beautiful city right by the sea, near, well, let's say 150 kilometers east of Venice. And down there we develop basically two products. One is called ModFrontier, which is actually a multidisciplinary optimization software package desktop application which has been around already for, I would say, 15-20 years. And lately we have been developing also an enterprise solution called Volta, which allow people basically to cooperate within the same engineering problem that they would have, sharing actually simulation files, test data, making sure that basically we get into the democratization and development really of products in a let's say in the modern era, like the Industry 4.0 way of working.
Oh, okay, that's very interesting. Now, was Volta developed because ModFrontier is a heck of a product. Okay, it's a great product. Now, was this developed, Volta, in with a lot of user feedback over the years to develop, or you?
Well, Volta is a product that came up as, let's say, ideas and visionary ideas, I should say, from our CTO at ESTECO, as well as from ideas that were shared together with him from a number of existing customers of ModFrontier. So they were all saying how great it is to perform optimization on a desktop level, but what if people wanted to share these, let's say, their engineering knowledge? So actually we're talking about democratization. How do we make sure that actually people can share their methods, share simulation models, because we're not working anymore in silos. There's a great deal of integration between the various teams. And basically we need actually to make sure that people can actually cooperate all together within the same engineering project, right? Because at the end the product is unique, but you have different specialties that are contributing into it. And that's how Volta really got started. But at the base, one of the execution engines of Volta is ModFrontier, because we still also within Volta are able to, we still propose, to perform optimization, robustness analysis, sensitivity analysis. So we don't lose our background, we're just enhancing it.
And you hit upon one of the questions I was going to ask you about democratization.
Yes.
And have you gotten how do your users embrace that idea? Because that's scary to some companies, to some engineers. Never mind companies. How's the reaation to that been to a lot of companies? I think it's the way to go.
Yes, you can't avoid it.
I'll get you off the hook.
It is. Let me say. Engineers more and more nowadays want actually to really spend time in taking decisions, in understanding what is happening behind the product. Now, you will always have experts, and these experts actually are fearing a little bit that we're taking away their jobs. But effectively, we need even more their presence in order to basically manage this democratization, because somebody will need to guide and maintain actually these huge, let me say, methodologies, all the methodologies or the engineering experience. And the democratization is really about making available all these expertise to non-expert users. And as such, actually, their jobs are being enhanced. We're almost putting them on a pedestal, saying, you are going to be the boss of handling this whole thing, so the lumbar spine. And then we will have actually the youngsters that maybe have less expertise to exploit and take advantage of what they have prepared.
And to learn.
Yeah, and
So
to
that
learn,
when
exactly.
When they become the old guys, they have that knowledge that's been passed
Absolutely.
down. You have the corporate
Yeah.
knowledge that which is hard to find.
And for sure, actually,
develop.
the company obviously benefits from it, because it's so much quicker to get results. You avoid having young kids coming from the uni, which are always super motivated, but sometimes also reinventing hot water. So you want to make sure, well, it does happen. I did the same mistakes when I was a young engineer myself. So you think that you found a miracle, and actually you're just repeating the same mistakes as everybody else. Yeah.
So what are you hearing from your users? What kind of problems are they turning to you and say, we need your help to solve, whether it's a new feature in your program or just how do we do this?
The trend that you see from the market is certainly that people do not have the time anymore to develop a lot of expertise everywhere. So they want actually the tool to be simpler in use, and then to, on the opposite, also have more complexity to handle more complex type of engineering issues. So one goes against the other. So it's our challenge is how can we make the tool more accessible while actually increasing the functionality behind it, without actually bothering the users to start with. The second one is how do we make sure that they don't produce pretty picture, but that they can really cooperate with their colleagues, that they're really part of a bigger team, right? So that's where we get into versioning of the simulation files, making sure that they can share them between each other, and this is also very, very important. These, I would say, are very important aspects, and what we hear more as well is, well, we've heard actually at this conference a lot of very interesting talks about artificial intelligence, and people asking you, how can we basically have the tool to go, rather than just presenting you a bunch of results and supporting you in the decision-making process, how can we make sure that the tool is somehow already taking some of these decisions before the results are presenting to you, so that the very, very complex scenarios are somehow simplified for you. And these are also things that we are currently working on. So having some sort of artificial intelligence block, which is part of the tool in the decision-making process.
So that would be, my guess would be, you're hoping the next
6 months.
6 months.
We are planning actually to have an updated release of our product that will embed this type of functionality, and 6 months. Yeah, by the end of the year, basically, we will be able to demonstrate that to our customers already.
Oh, that's
what we call.
That's good stuff, man. That's good.
Well, you get into, just to use another very fancy buzzword, agile development. So you try to anticipate what the others need, but it is actually very, very complicated. You need really to be always listening to customer needs, right? No, that's very cool. Actually, it's very interesting.
Yeah, it is very interesting. What's the most interesting thing that you're working on that I might not see for 18 months? That you can talk about, obviously.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I am working at the moment on a number of applications using actually Mod Frontier for the domain of autonomous driving. And actually, the idea with this is how can a tool like Mod Frontier, and then as a consequence also Volta, are able to support customers in identifying most relevant scenarios to be tested in real road. But okay, it's a work in progress. I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
absolutely,
It's one of the
yeah.
puzzles that are needed with respect to this autonomous driving world.
Yeah.
And well, certainly you'll hear from us very soon about that.
Okay, that I look forward to, and I've enjoyed hearing from
Thank
you
you.
today.
Pleasure.
The website, I want to make sure I have it right, is ESTECO.com. That's ESTECO. You can also write the editors at Digital Engineering, and we'll be happy to send you that address. Alex, thank you
Thank you
so much.
Thank you very much.
For your time. And
Thanks.
Thanks, pal, for watching.